Just rant about Napoli.
Let's go for it.
We're gonna rant. We're gonna match report. We're gonna talk about the games. We're gonna talk about topics. You leave comments, and we'll read your comments out. Question.
All right, quick stats.
Yes, throw the stats up there. On to a nice little segment that we're gonna call the Beast of the Match.
Who's beasting it for the Napoli team? Let's see.
But follow us on Facebook, Raffaele Rispo, Ralph AZZURRO, Twitter at RaffaNapoli83. That's me.
CNC USA 26.
I want some feedback to the show. What do you guys want to see? What do you want to see more or less of? This is going to be a show for you guys too. I want a lot of comments.
We want to rant about something. Let us know if you want us to rant about something.
I promise you, we're not going to agree on everything all the time.
We won't.
We're going to yell at each other every now and then.
Come and rant. This is what it's for. We want to give you a space to let loose so you can do it here.
Well, that's going to do it, Ralph. Were we boring enough for you?
I don't know. I think we were great.
Let's get to it.
Madonna Carmine, aiutici tu.
And benvenuti, fellas and bellas, to the first edition of the Raff and Raff Rant of the 2022-23 season. Raff Biz is not with me tonight because he is enjoying his time at the motherland, and I don't know a soul that is watching this that would rather be in his shoes. But I'm here today with Carmine from the Napoli Club Toronto, president of Napoli Club Toronto. He's going to help me kick things off today. And I just want to say welcome to you, Carmine, and how's things going, my friend?
Things have been they've been going really well. Been a little bit hectic for the last
don't say.
Yeah, been a little bit hectic for the last week now, but yeah, things are going amazing. Can't ask for anything more.
That's great. And we're going to talk about everything that you've been going through past week or two. We're going to talk about a lot of things today. As I said, we're kicking the season off with this episode tonight. And thank you for everybody joining on the chat. I really appreciate all you guys. I see you, and I'm going to get to you all very, very shortly. I think what we're going to do is we're going to follow a little run schedule. We're going to talk about Carmine. We're going to talk about Napoli, the signings that they've made, the rumors that are running rampant, and things like that. And then why don't you guys try to keep, if you don't mind, because it's just me, not Biz is not here. Keep the questions or the comments to the topic that we're working on, and then like I said, we'll talk about Carmine, and then we'll talk about the other things, and then I'll get everybody. I'll address everybody. But I want to say a quick shout out to Pasquale, Peter, Sereno, Matteo Casale is here. Daniel D is here. I want to say thank you guys for joining. I know it's late, and thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, Carm, what's going on, my friend? So, you had the opportunity of a lifetime, to introduce Lorenzo Insigne to Toronto. And this is this has to have been your crowning achievement as a content creator, a president of a club, a member of this community that we have at Napoli, social media and all that stuff. As I know, because I've had the same opportunity to interview him a few years back. Yeah. If you felt the way I felt, then I know how you felt, but I want you to convey to the viewers and everybody else. And I know we've talked privately in chats and stuff like that. This is one of the first times that you've been able to vocally express your experience with that. So tell us how the ball got rolling.
Well, like you said, that was probably the best moment of my life, without the top moment of my life, without a doubt. Because never in a million years would I think I'd be able to have this opportunity. But in order to get to the context of where I am now, we have to start from about a couple months back. And basically what had happened was on Easter Sunday, on Easter Sunday, I was unfortunately I had to work that day. So I was on my way to work. And as I'm on my way to work, I received an email from Eric Giacometti, oh my god, Cheeto cornstalk talk.
Cheeto
Okay.
cornstalk is a lie.
Sorry,
Cheeto
just
cornstalk is a
sidetrack from
lie.
that. But anyways, I got an email from Eric Giacometti, who is the social media. I can't remember if he's a manager, but he does social media for MLSE. Specifically, he does social media and content creation for Toronto FC. And
Now,
as I'm
MLSE, I'm sorry, just so people who might not know what MLSE
yeah,
is, because that might confuse some people.
yeah,
MLSE is Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment,
it
correct?
is. Yeah, Maple Leaf
Okay.
Sports Entertainment, and that
Okay. Not
encompasses
Major
Toronto.
League Soccer.
No, 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 no. That encompasses Toronto Blue Jays, Toronto Maple Leafs, Toronto
Right.
Raptors, Toronto FC.
Right.
All the Toronto sports teams are incorporated under one company, and then they like all the funds go to them, and then it gets redistributed. It's something like that, but they're part of that corporation. So when I received this email, it was email. This email sent to me was about TFC doing a docu series on Lorenzo Insigne's arrival to Toronto after it's been a couple months after it's been confirmed that he signed in January. So what he asked of us was the next day on Easter Monday, we were going to hold a meet for Napoli versus Roma at our restaurant there. And what he wanted to do was include us in the docu series, come over, do interviews, take a few shots of the Napoli Club of Toronto, and just get our perspective on Insigne's arrival. Now, Insigne's arrival is a hotly debated subject, and I've had my arguments both online and in person about this. And from my perspective, you have to understand the way we think about it. You have to remove yourself from being kind of a Napoli fan, as well as remove yourself from being in that mindset, essentially. So you have to think of it this way. Yes, we are Napoli fans. We are sad for him to leave. If it was up to me, I'd want him to retire in the jersey.
For sure.
But the best worst case scenario is the one that happened, because now he comes to my hometown. He plays in my backyard. The luxury that other people in Naples got to see him play every week, we didn't have that. Now we have this luxury. And now is our opportunity as fans of the club to express our appreciation to Insigne for coming to Toronto and express our appreciation for his time he spent in Naples. This is the way you have to think about it. And I've had the arguments that, you know, us being there, it's not a real representation of Naples, but we're representing both things. We're representing Naples and we're representing Toronto. That is Napoli Club Toronto. It's in the name. It's both
Right.
things.
Right.
So, anyways, after that happens, we do the interviews. Docu-series, by the way, for those in Canada, it's on TSN July 7th at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be aired there. It's going to have our interviews, all that sort of stuff.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be on TV and then on YouTube the day after.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
they do the interviews. They do the photo shoot. We thank them for their time. It's great. It's great exposure for the club. And honestly, I thought that was the extent of it. I thought, amazing. We got our interviews done. We're going to be put on TV. We got our name out there. We represented the club and city well. Let's see what happens. Last month in June, I get another email from Eric, and this email was about Insigne's arrival. And the email said that it was a private event at the beginning. It was a private event, and Napoli Club Toronto was invited to this event to welcome Insigne into the city. So we're ecstatic at this point. I'm messaging Sereno. I'm like, we should bring some of the guys with us. We should, make a showing for when he arrives, all that sort of stuff. And I thought this is another step. I thought that was the extent of that we were able to even just be in the same room as these guys and welcome Insigne. And then finally, the last thing that happened was it turned to a public event where it happened outside of a restaurant in Little Italy called Cafe Diplomatico. They blocked off a part of the street. They had a whole stage there set up. You saw the videos, right?
I saw the videos. Pretty much everybody saw the videos.
Yeah.
But I'm liking the description though, in case anybody has.
Yeah. So there's a whole stage there. There was a DJ playing, performers. They had gift prizes, all that sort of stuff. So we get to the event. First of all, we do a tifo. So basically, what we did is all the people that came from Napoli Club Toronto, we started a block and a half away,
Mhm.
and from a block and a half away, all the way up to when we arrived, we had our banner out, tifo, doing the chants, all that sort of things, just making a presence, right?
Yeah.
Keeping that energy up. Then we get there. We get to the event. We're just hanging around. We're doing interviews with a lot of the uh, the media personnel that are there, like CTV, City TV, um, TSN. I think was a couple of them, Sportsnet, whatever. Just interviews of us talking about Insigne's arrival again. And finally, we were asked to go on stage. Sereno, and the other guys who run the club with us, Gianluca Saggese, Danny Del Grosso, and Stefano Cioffi. These
Mhm.
are the five guys that run the club. That's right, One Soccer, Two by Frank. And we were asked to go on stage to do a couple of chants from Napoli and get the people going for when Insigne arrives, he would hear these chants and feel like he's at home again.
Right.
That was the idea. So when we go up there, we do our thing. I'm losing my voice as per the
Yes.
videos that you can see,
Yes.
and we get off the stage. So we were only supposed to go on stage one time.
Mm.
As soon as we get off the stage, we got approached by two people. One of them is her name is Maria. She's the other person that does social media for TFC, and the other one was another TV personality that's I can't remember his name. He was on Much TV and MTV. He was there co-hosting the event, and as soon as we stepped off stage, he said, "Guys, you got to go up there again because the energy that you brought up there was unmatched. When Insigne comes, when he's arriving onto the stage, you have to be up there again. You have to welcome him. You got to be there again." So I said, "Okay, perfect. Just let me know when it happens. Call me up again." And I'm Rick Campanella. That's who it is. Thanks, Vin. Call me up again, and we're ready to do it. So now it's becoming a reality to me that at first I didn't think I was going to get anywhere near Insigne because the amount of security and police that were there for the escort. And I'm thinking to myself, what are the odds? Like who's really going to allow us to get that close to him? So I'm just mentally preparing myself to go on stage for a final time. In one of the videos for One Soccer, you can actually see me during the interview. They do like cut shots. I have my hands on Sereno's shoulders, and I told him, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna throw up. Like I'm really nervous right now. I can't do
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
So we go on stage one more time. We do the chants again. We get the crowd fire up, and that's when I did the Lorenzo Insigne chants to get
Right.
everyone
The
hyped up.
Belli the famous Bellini
The
chat.
famous
Yeah. Yeah.
Bellini chants, right?
Oh yeah.
To get everyone hyped up. In the back of my mind, I'm going, okay, I'm going to get off the stage. I know he's arriving within a couple minutes, so he's probably going to come through the back way. I'm going to get off. I'm going to go back to my group. He's going to come on after us.
Mhm.
So I do my thing. I'm all hyped up. I turn around. On stage with me is Sereno and Gianluca with me. And I turn to them and I say, hey, good job, guys. Good job. Start tapping them up. We did well. And as soon as I look to my left to go down the stairs, Insigne is standing at the bottom of the stairs.
Jeez.
He's looking at me and he's laughing, nodding his head, and he's talking to me. But in that moment, when I saw him at the bottom of the stairs, I was deer in headlights. Like everything just froze around me. And
Right.
I didn't know what to do because this entire time, me thinking that nobody was going to be there, he stood there the entire time
He saw the whole
watching me
thing.
do this
Yeah.
presentation for him. And
I think there's a moment in the videos that I've seen, the various videos that I've seen, that
yeah,
he's watching, like the video is the camera is showing him
yes,
watching you do the
yeah,
chanting, and
yes,
he's just like eating it up and
yeah,
like, wow, this is nuts. Like
yeah.
like
And
like we
sorry,
have
sorry.
to understand. No, that's okay. We have to understand that, like, obviously Napoli, Naples, everybody out there, they know that there's a presence in North America. They
Yeah,
know that there's a fan club. You know what I mean? The club knows about Far From Vesuvius. The club knows
Yeah.
about Napoli Club Toronto. The club knows about the passion that North American fans have for Napoli. But for someone to actually go and see, you know,
Yeah.
I'll never forget when we were in Miami. And we had the section behind the Napoli bench, and we were
Yep.
chanting all the chants. And when Callejon, well, it was actually an own goal, but when we thought at the time Callejon scored, I get up and do the Bellini for Callejon,
Yeah.
where there's me. I don't know if you might have seen the video
I
on
remember it,
social media, where me and Phil, because Phil's a Callejon hater, so I'm looking at Phil saying Callejon, and he's forced to chant it, and then of course it's an own goal. It didn't even matter, but you can see, some of the guys on the bench, the players, you know, the staff, we're looking back and just like amazement. Like I could see their faces going, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So for Insigne to see that in North America, you know, let's not forget, you know, I'm sure he was, you know, a privy to what the atmosphere would be like, but it's not until you get there and see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be probably equivalent to an American going to Europe and meeting someone who's like nuts about baseball and can tell you everything about the Yankees or the Mets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's something like that.
Exactly.
So
And
for you to see him watch that, and like, must have been not just the first time you eat meat face to face, but right after that's done, and he's like appreciating what you just did to get him on the stage is nuts.
Yeah.
Has to be.
And in one of the videos, and One Soccer, if you go search up One Soccer on Twitter right now, there's an end of the video when you hear me do the Lorenzo, the end chant.
Right.
He turns to his social media manager, laughing, and he goes, "E carico quel speaker," and it means like he's really charged up. He's really he's really into it, and he's like laughing and nodding. And then at the end of it, you can see he turns back. That's when I'm walking down the stage. Obviously, my knees are weak. I'm trying to hold on to the railings as I'm walking down. And he looks at me, he starts laughing. He's talking to me, but I couldn't hear what he said because like everything just got blocked out in that moment. I didn't know what was going on. So I get to the bottom, a Carigolo speaker. Yeah, exactly. He said, like, I remember it vividly. And I'm gonna get to that soon, Vince. We were the energy. So as I'm walking down the stairs, I'm trying to go through my head and think, okay, what am I gonna say to him? I've spent the last 11 years of my life idolizing this man. Every Sunday, no matter 6 a.m. or 3 p.m., I was in front of a TV watching this guy play. Champions League, I was watching him play. Italy national team, I was watching him play. How am I going to sum this up, these 11 years, into a minute or two? How am I ever going to find the words to say to this guy?
Right.
So I get to the bottom of the stairs. I shake his hand. He says to me, "Thank you." He says, "Thank you for that." And I said, we speak Italian. I was speaking Italian to him in dialect. Actually, I was speaking Neapolitan. And he says, "Thank you for that." I said, "No, thank you, Capitano. Welcome to the city. Thank you for everything that you've done for Napoli and Italy." That was it. That's all I said to him. He went on stage. He did his thing. He came off. But another thing that happened when he was on stage was, as soon as he got up on the stage, when everyone was cheering him on, we had our banner, our Napoli Club Toronto banner, and like 30 of us out there. And we make the most noise from the start that we got there until he got on the stage. The energy was us. We were the loudest ones, and there was only 30 of us. There was 500 people there. 30 people were louder than the other 500.
Was there really 500 people there? Didn't seem like
people
it.
walking by and people in the crowd and people inside the restaurant. It could have been like somewhere to 400 or something like that. There was a lot. It didn't seem like it.
Before you go on, I want to touch on something that Vinny here says that I think that the people in Italy, I think when he says they, he means the people in Italy, the players, the staff, whatever. They realize that there are Italian fans, but not so much Napoli ones. And then to what you just said now, 500 people there to go greet Insigne. Now, whether they're TFC fans that are just excited about a new player, Italian fans that are excited about Insigne coming, you know, that had to have been the majority, because the very few Napoli fans making all the noise, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if just Italian fans, um, whether they be fans of Roma, Juve, Inter, Milan,
Yeah.
Fiorentina, whoever, and TFC fans understand the reason, like the reason for our passion, understand
Yeah.
the reason for our excitement for Insigne to be here. You
Yes.
said it earlier. You compare you compare I'm not compare, but you look at what the people say about how we shouldn't be happy that Insigne left Napoli
We're
because he
not.
went to Toronto, but it has nothing to do with being a TFC fan or a Toronto
Yeah.
fan it has everything to do with being a native of Toronto,
Yes.
being able to go see Lorenzo Insigne a minute's walk or a minute's drive, or maybe
Yeah.
even see him grocery shopping,
Yeah.
or maybe even see him shoe shopping in a mall, or maybe just catching him on on like a car ride, or like being able to for me being able, and I'm 3 hours closest to any stadium around here, but I am 3 hours from New England. I am 3 hours from Yankee Stadium, maybe 3.5 from Red Bull Arena.
Yeah.
I can take a few extra hours and vacation in Philadelphia, which the kids love, and go see him in Philadelphia. I can take a domestic flight down to visit my family in Fort Lauderdale, Deerfield Beach, Boca Raton, and go see him play against Inter Miami.
Yeah.
I can see them against DC. Like, you know what I mean? This is something that these fans from Napoli, like, and listen, nobody's happy that he left, but we have that advantage, like
Yeah.
like I could take my club, our club, Tri-State Napoli,
Yeah.
and pretty much go anywhere in the Tri-State area to go see him play now.
Yeah.
And that's what the excitement is about. Not that he left Napoli for
Exactly.
Toronto, but that he's here. We can watch him pretty much dominate this league because Toronto needs it, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So that's where the excitement comes in,
Yep.
and I'm saying, like, Napoli represented at this Toronto event, and
Yep.
without them, he would have been, without you guys doing your thing, which you would have if they didn't call you. Let's be honest, even if they didn't call you,
we would have been there.
You'd be there probably
Yep.
with a loudspeaker doing this, and he'd
Yep.
notice you. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you got a lot of attention, I think, is bringing a lot of like negatives from these people, and it's not cool, because without you guys there, that would have been a snooze fest, and he probably would have been turned off by it.
And honestly, it was, and that's why I'm saying, like, we were, for the most part, the energy R30, and that's not to say there weren't other Neapolitans there that weren't a part of our club, because they actually ended up joining with us after the fact, because they noticed that, oh my God, there's an Napoli club here, let me go join these guys. So yeah, if we weren't there, I don't think the energy would have been as much as it was, but because we were there, we were able to give him that homely feeling, the feeling that he's familiar with, that he's experienced for his entire life, basically. Since he was a kid too, we were there to give him that final hurrah, that final farewell that he would experience again before playing in Toronto, which is obviously different culture, different soccer culture. And just by saying that too, right? Going back to the point that, and no, Gaetano, Neapolitans are mad, and I'll touch on this now because I've had arguments.
So Gaetano says, I don't think Napolitani are mad. To me, it seemed most of the hate was coming from TFC fans or fans of other Serie A clubs.
Yeah, and it was, but TFC fans weren't mad at us. They are mainly more upset with Toronto FC themselves because of their lack of involvement in the in the arrival. It wasn't directed towards us. In fact, they actually appreciated us being there as well. It's more towards the Neapolitans in Italy and in Naples that are mad at the fact that we even presented ourselves as Napoli fans when their mentality is, why are you even there? He abandoned the club. It's very, I don't know, it's very one way of thinking. Going back onto the Insigne contract, it's not just one person who decides that. It's a two-sided thing. Insigne didn't get the money he wanted. ADL didn't want to pay him that money. There's two sides to the story.
There's nobody to blame. There's nobody to blame for that.
There's no one to blame. So, like I said, the best worst case scenario is that he showed up in Toronto. Now, He comes to our hometown. A lot of our guys, biggest Napoli fan I've ever met in my life. All right, runs an amazing podcast. Joseph Fischetti,
Yeah.
amazing content creator, biggest Napoli fan. He's never once been to Italy. This was his one opportunity to show Insigne his appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
And what, we can't just be there? We can't show up because we're supposed to be mad at him? No, it doesn't make sense. We don't have that. We didn't have that luxury that you had, that every week you can see him in the middle of the street.
Sure.
Every week you can be at the stadium to watch him play. Now it's our turn.
Well,
That's
and not for nothing, Carmine, but last time I was in Napoli was in 2005. I watched freaking Emanuele Calayo, Roberto Sosa, and we had Abate that one season, and freaking Nicola Pozzi, I think it was. Players like that. Gennaro Scarlato. It's been that long. Before a couple of months before my firstborn son was born.
Yeah.
That I've been to Napoli and been able to watch Napoli play in Naples. Now I've seen Insigne, I'm lucky enough to have seen Insigne play against, Barcelona here twice and have had the interview. And without that, I would have had no experience seeing any of these guys at all. I never got to see Marek Hamsik. I never got to see, Cavani in a Napoli shirt. I never got to see Lavezzi, and you know what I mean? And for those guys to come here, and be able to apply their trade here and watch them play,
Yes.
I mean, I'm excited to see freaking Chiellini with LAFC and also Criscito with Toronto. I was thrilled to see Donadell when he was with Montreal. So it's just it's a realization that the clubs couldn't come together. What are you supposed to do about it? Cry and complain, or embrace the fact that this man's coming to our town, our side of the world, a 5-hour drive for me, and probably a passport renewal, but either way, you know what I'm saying? To come visit you guys, and that's another thing. That's another thing. You travel to, Philly, DC, Florida, Toronto, Montreal, even, and Montreal's closer for me. Like you get to meet various different Napoli fans coming to see Insigne doing, going to those games too. And it's something that we need to really appreciate, because we're not getting an Insigne, all due respect to Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic went to Galaxy and everyone thought that was it. His career is over. Of course, he came back to Milan and turned it on still at the age of 40, whatever. But he went at the twilight of his career. Insigne is not at the twilight of his career. As much as people might want to think that,
no,
he's only 31 going into 32, but he's not that old, man. He can still go. He can. And only a muscle strain kept him off the Italian national team for the last string of games. So, listen, I feel like we are blessed to have him here, and let's embrace, I'm wearing my NYC champions hat. You know what I mean? I can't wait. They've already played them in both times that he's not going to play, in the city this year, but next year, you bet your ass I'm going to be there. And we're gonna be cheering for Insigne, man. It's it's gonna be great. It is.
And another thing, Rafa, is just like, let's go back to the North American community, the North American Neapolitan community. This is a perfect opportunity to bring in a whole community together as one, with this one player coming in from Italy. Like as we said, our goal here at the club, and I'm sure the Tri-State Club, and I'm sure every other club in North America, Montreal, us, whatever it may be, our goal is to unite a Neapolitan community in North America. This is the goal. And what a perfect opportunity to have this with a player that we all watch for the past 11 years, that we can all come together. Toronto can come to New York, join the New Yorkers, go watch a game. We can go to Montreal. Actually, we're already working on that, going to Montreal or Montreal coming here to watch a game together as a group, and start forming these connections to unify the North American Neapolitan community. It's just, at the end of the day, that's our goal is to support Napoli in North America and show the presence and love that we have here back home in Italy. And this is just a start, to be honest with you. And the world is our oyster. The limitations are endless with what we can go on from here. But that is the goal, and it's a perfect opportunity to execute that goal.
Well, Carmine, that's been the goal for everyone here since day one. Everyone that's doing it, you got Dom from Napoli Talk, yeah, you guys, you got, you mentioned Joe Fischetti, you got us at Far from
Yep.
Vesuvius, you got the rant, you got this is all we've wanted to do is try to grow.
Yep.
You've got the guys that do the league wide stuff like IFTV and Cultural Connection and you know our buddies Frank and Rich, sit down. They're trying to grow the league as a whole in this country or this continent. And here we are trying to grow our one little brand here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We're very like Raf says all the time, we're a niche unit, we're a niche club, and it's time to expand it. It
Yeah.
really is. And maybe that's a good segue into talking about like some of the new sponsors. You got Coca-Cola that signed on with Napoli, and Amazon retains, and Konami's full effect goes in this season, and we kept the shirt sponsors the way they were, and that's fine. They're paying us a decent amount. But Armani, and it's a big brand. And I
Yep.
don't see why people try to still call us a small club when we constantly finish European places and have these big name sponsors behind our
Yeah.
back. We're a growing club and we need to grow it. And this is just another avenue on how to do it. Bringing Insigne
Yeah.
here because he still represents that Napoli, the Napolitanita, right? He still
Yeah.
represents that Scunizzo mentality, and hopefully he can kind of retain that here in Toronto. And I'm looking forward to it, man. So Saturday is the first game. Is it in Toronto? Is it
In
home?
Toronto.
Okay, it's a
The
home
home
game.
game. Yeah. In
Um,
Toronto.
yeah. How are you feeling about that? Obviously you're gonna be there. I'm not even gonna
No,
ask.
I'm not.
Oh, you're not. Ooh. All
I have a
right.
wedding.
Breaking news. Oh, you have a wedding. Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got to get
I
married now.
I honestly considered leaving the wedding.
Oh,
I
so
considered
well,
it.
it depends. Who's getting married?
It's my sister's boyfriend's brother.
Come on, he has to understand. Yeah, all right. Yeah, congrats. I'll see you later.
I know. I want to go. And funny enough, my sister won tickets to that game, free tickets to that game.
Come
So
on.
so the tickets are still in her hands, and I'm looking at them like I really want to go. I mean, it's just a venue. It's a dinner. I can skip a dinner, right?
Sure,
Like
I don't
I
see
can
why not.
I
Well,
can go.
listen, so we need to know who you're losing to first of all, because TFC apparently is trash. They are not doing well, but Insigne and Criscito joining the squad, I think they'll be. I think they'll be
Yeah.
fine. We could probably see instant turnaround there. What do you think? So who are they playing this weekend?
Good question. I can't remember. Let me just take a
Oh,
look.
that's okay. It doesn't matter. You're not going to be there anymore. Pasquale
Yeah.
says you don't need to go to that
Oh,
wedding.
San Jose.
San Jose. Okay.
San Jose. Yeah. I
Gaetano
honestly,
says F the wedding.
I'm thinking about it. I really want to. I'm gonna try to convince my
You could
parents.
just go to the mass, Frank says.
Yeah, I am going
It's
to the
not
big game
close
at
enough
7:30.
family. I'll tell you that.
The game card.
Vinny says he'll see you at the game. So listen, Vincenzo's going. Who else is going? Who else
Oh, a
here
lot
is
of our
going?
guys are.
Frank is going to go.
Most of
Everyone.
us.
So
Yeah.
listen to me, Carmine. Everyone's going to be there except for you. Fake illness. Let me tell you about Okay. This is going to suck because one of my cousins this morning messaged me saying happy 4th, how you spending your 4th, and then out of nowhere just said, hey, just so you know, you and Danny, my cousin Dan, you and Danny are my favorite cousins on my dad's side, our father's side.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, that's really sweet of you, man, thank you. He's a little younger than us, right? But we we skipped his first communion in 1992 to stay home and watch WrestleMania 8, and we both faked that we were really sick. and we really lobbied to stay home, and we did that for our first cousin, Carm, at a young 20. What are you? 22, 23?
23.
At a
23.
young 23 years old, you have you have your own authority to make up an illness and miss this person's wedding. Not close enough
Yeah,
family. There's no
yeah.
excuse. See, we had
I
to
know,
lobby for it. We had to
but
like, Mom, come on, we want to stay home. And you are like, "Ah, I could do
there's
this."
a caveat to this though.
What's that?
Is that literally the next morning we're leaving for vacation. So if I'm sick one night and then suddenly better, go to Turks and Caicos the next day, like it's kind of
Is that where you're going? Turks and
Turks.
Caicos.
Yeah, Turks.
Who's
Yeah.
is he going? Is the groom is going?
No. Just my family and my cousins.
All right. So what the f does he have to know? You listen. Here's the thing.
Because you're
Listen,
gonna be taken.
you're too busy. You're too busy packing. You're getting a head start at the listen, or just tell him, listen, I got to go to this game. I don't know. Just somehow you got to be there.
I
The
know.
good news is not his last game. So there you go.
Yeah, I know. But it's only there's only one first
There's
game.
only one first game. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
well. I'll figure
Listen,
something out.
it's okay. It's okay. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Whether you go or not, listen, you've already done, what very little people in this world have been able to do and asked to do and called to do and sought out to do, and we're in an elite club, my friend. I'd like to, and I'm happy. And you know what? I'm really happy it's you.
Thank
And I'm
you.
really, like I've said this before, and I'm in my tweets, meeting you guys in Michigan after all that stuff happened to spark what you've done is an honor for me. You know what I mean? Like when I see you up there, when I look past a little bit of the jealousy that he's not in New York, I when I have to just kind of like open that gate and go through the jealousy gate.
Yeah.
I'm so proud to see what you've done, you and Sereno and Danny and Steph and the crew.
Thank you.
It's pretty cool to represent, man. It is, and it only gives us, a chance to try to top what you've done when he comes down to New York at some point. And it's gonna create just a great atmosphere of Napoli fans all across the East Coast here. So great job.
Thank you.
Great job, man. Now listen. Now Napoli is without Lorenzo Insigne. So we have to now kind of talk about things at the home base here, right? We go from Toronto, we go from Napoli, we go from Insigne to Toronto to Crava and Oliveira to Napoli. Now,
yes,
Kvaratskhelia, right? Kvaratskhelia. I think that's how we're pronouncing it.
Yeah.
Now, ADL called him Zizi. I think we've adopted that name here on the show.
I don't know how do you get Zizi?
I don't know. He called him that, and Raffa and I are just like, we're just gonna call him Zizi. But Crava is cool too. I'm okay with Crava.
Yeah.
Oliveira is another signing. Finally, a left back that everyone's been clamoring about. Even though the left back we have is fine by me, but it's depth. It's good.
Depth.
The re-signing of Ngisa, the impending release of Mertens, which is really just getting to me at this point, and not in a way that everyone thinks. Like, in my opinion, even though legally, technically, he's not part of the club anymore. Until he signed with somebody else, he's a Napoli player for me, in my opinion. And the big possibility, I don't think there was an official announcement yet, and I could be wrong. You can try to maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but losing out on Ospina as well. What would you put Napoli's market at this point? And we're talking about the rumors in a minute, but let's talk about what the pitch looks like today. Where do you see us next season to start out? Where are you comfortable with these signings? Are you okay with it? Are you looking to see like Lozano get the start on the left other than Crava, and maybe see Crava like kind of join in later or like mesh in? Does Oliveira get a start over Rui? You know, where do you see us? Grade us right now and kind of give us your opinion?
If I had to give a grade,
And let's not forget, it's not an overall grade because
I know.
literally the market just opened on
Yeah,
the
it just
first. It
opened. It's
just
tough
opened.
to say. It's really tough to say. I can't grade something on something that just started, right? It
How
could
are your
always
feelings
change.
towards it then? Your feelings towards it.
My feelings started off fantastic. I was ecstatic for everything that was happening. Kvaratskhelia looks like he's going to be an amazing footballer. Just what he did with oh my god, what's the team name? Dynamo can't remember the name.
Someone in the chat can help us out because I don't remember
Yeah,
either, and I
I
can
don't
look it up
remember
right now.
either.
But it's a Georgian team.
Yes, yeah.
But he also was owned by Ruben Kazan. Am I
Yes,
correct? Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, he played in the Russian league as well, and I saw him play in the Nations League with Georgia,
Oh,
and
what an amazing.
oh my god, he every time he was on the ball, something was happening. He's just to me, he looks like he's gonna be a fantastic. He is truly um a diamond in the rough that they found, and I can't wait to see what he does in this Serie A. I think he's gonna be amazing, and
It's
same with
Dinamo Batumi. Dinamo Batumi.
Dinamo Batumi. That's right. Um, and same with Oliveira. Oliveira, though I agree with you, Mario Rui was fantastic this year as left back. No complaints on that left side. Having another depth signing such as Oliveira, where you can just split the games between the two, is crucial if we want to go the distance in the Champions League and in the Campeonato. You
Mhm.
need those. You need two good replacements for each other at all times. Now, having said that, we bring these and Anguissa. Obviously, we know Anguissa's a fantastic midfielder as well. Did amazing with his first season here on loan. Having
Brilliant
said
deal,
that,
by the way. Brilliant deal. Brilliant deal.
masterclass of a deal.
Like we knew, it's funny because last season we're like, oh, this guy's, we're going to sign him. He's only going to cost this much. But once the deal was actually done, I think is when we all really realized that, wow, this
Yeah.
was a steal and a half, wasn't it?
Oh, he's worth at least another 15 million more.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
At least like minimum. And plus we had him on a 100K loan. That's like it's amazing that deal that they got up. But having said that, now we brought in three great players for depth and they can even be starters themselves. But we are losing key players. We are losing arguably the most important players on our team. There's three players that I've always said all season. I've said it on here. I've said it on in the club. There's three players that are non-negotiables: Koulibaly, Ospina, Mertens. Those are the three that you cannot leave. That you cannot let them leave. First of all, Koulibaly, future captain, still one of the best center backs in the world. He's a presence on and off the field. He's a presence in the locker room. You need him on your team. The games that we didn't have Koulibaly were the games we suffered the most. Ospina. Now, Ospina has been arguably one of the best goalkeepers in Europe. Actually, last year he was second best goalkeeper in Europe in terms of shot stopping after Mendy. So already one of the best out there. Secondly, Ospina, Meret, even though we saw what Meret can do with Ancelotti in 2019 or 2018, the first season with Ancelotti, I can't remember the dates right now. Meret was a fantastic keeper, a fantastic shot stopper.
Right.
Had some trouble with his feet, but it didn't matter because Ancelotti never played back to the keeper. It was always moving forward. Um, and then after a few injuries and not seeing the field consistently, Medet's level has dropped to a point where it's going to be tough for him to get back. So starting off a season with a goalkeeper who has lost his confidence is going to be tough for him to get back on the ball, and it's going to be a rough, maybe even first half of the season if it stays like this. Ospina had that confidence, and he still what is he, 34 now? 33? Keepers can still
Ospina is Ospina's up there. I mean, 33.
33.
I mean, he'll be 34 this year. He'll
He's
be
still got
34.
he's still got 2-3 seasons left in him.
I
At
mean,
least as a
keepers
keeper.
don't die, dude. Like
Yeah,
keepers
they
don't. No, they get better with age, and that's a fact. 34 is not old for a keeper. It's not.
No, exactly. And he still has a lot of life left in him. And he's my preferred starter.
Mm-hmm.
There's games where we would have lost or tied if he wasn't in net with some of the saves that he pulls off. With Medet, it's just that he being 25 or 26, whatever he is now, he still has time to grow. The keepers, that's the thing with keepers. They still have time to grow, even though he's 25.
Mm-hmm.
You think a player in that position, usually a player at 25 years old, should start being well-rounded. Keepers can still have that buffer room where they can still grow. It's just the confidence factor that is gonna kill him and the back line, because he doesn't seem confident in vocalizing with his back line. He doesn't seem confident going for 50-50 balls. He's very timid about, his positioning sometimes, whether he should step up, attack the player, whether he should stay back on his line. He's very indecisive, and that's what costs you sometimes. And it's going to be a while for him to get that back or even learn it.
I see a lot of Buffon early stages Buffon in Medet. I'm not sure if you can see the well, I mean, listen, you're still young. You're a lot younger than I am. When Buffon was exactly Medet's age, I had a lot of questions. Like in the 02 World Cup, I had a lot of questions about Buffon. I did. It wasn't until 03, 04, 05 that I kind of saw him growing a little more. And then Buffon was only 28 years old when they won the World Cup, but he was 28. These keepers, these young keepers have time to grow. It wasn't until, for me, the World Cup, and then I mean, you saw signs of it, in the 03 Champions League, Juve Real Madrid, and then the final against Milan. He showed a little bit of it, but then it was really kind of starting to grow. And then that World Cup in 06, which today, July 4th, is the 16-year anniversary of the semifinal, the great semifinal. Couple of saves in that game, I mean, that he made, and then even in the final against France, just amazing saves. Forget about it. Medet still does have that opportunity, and you know what? Maybe him getting the start for Napoli in the listen, assuming he can stay healthy, because that's a big issue. Maybe him getting these quality starts in Serie A and in the Champions League will help out, because that's, I think, what a keeper, any player needs to grow, is to play continuously and play more, and then get the rest when he needs the rest. But I'm not saying that I'm agreeing with Ospina leaving. I think it's a terrible mistake, if you ask me. Yes. But if it were to happen, hopefully we're gonna put our eggs in the Medet basket. If we're gonna do that he can have the experience that he needs to grow into a better keeper for the next couple of years to move on from. But even then, Carm, I mean, you mentioned Koulibaly, and you mentioned Ospina. I'm sure we're going to talk about Mertens now. None of these guys have officially left yet. So there's not, I mean, aside from, like I said, Mertens is officially off the books right now and is in limbo. But none of them have either left or signed a contract with anyone else yet. So once that happens, maybe we should revisit. But at the same time, it is worrying, because that's, like, you think about it, right, Carm? Koulibaly should be the next captain. If not, it's definitely Mertens. I think if Mertens was playing more, like if he was a lot younger, I think he'd become the captain over Koulibaly. But there was Koulibaly, and then who else? I mean, you could argue Di Lorenzo, but Ospina for me, Ospina. So you got 3 potential captains possibly leaving this club this year, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good
terrible. Terrible. It's a terrible mistake. You can't let them go. Like I said, 3 non-negotiables. You pay those players what they want because they have to stay there. Those are the 3.
My thing,
Maybe not what they want, but at
not what
least
they want, but Carm, they want to negotiate their contracts. Like, I mean, I don't know if Koulibaly is really that interested in negotiating, but I'm pretty sure he is negotiating. That's why they haven't signed a deal yet.
Yeah.
But also, we're not going to sell him. That's for sure. So if anything, he'll stay this year. I think he's a lock for this year, regardless.
Yeah.
Whether we sign him in this window for an extension or not, he stays. I don't think we sell him. But Mertens, and I mean, they want to negotiate their deals.
Yep, they do,
and they're open to it.
Very specifically Mertens. I can understand Ospina maybe doesn't want to negotiate as much as Mertens, but Mertens, he will take a pay cut no matter, up to a certain extent. He'll take a pay cut, but he's going to take a pay cut because his son is born there. He loves the city. He loves Napoli. He loves being a part of the team and living in that city. So he is willing to negotiate with ADL and try to find a middle ground. It just seems that it's not going the other way. It doesn't seem like ADL is actually reaching out, or Giuntoli's reaching out to make this deal happen, because I know we talked about this last season too, and it's continuing on, that ADL is trying to cut down wages. He's trying to cut down his wages. So I know it's from a business sense, it's kind of difficult to look at that he may revisit the negotiation table, but he has to. Personally, to me, that he has to. I get he wants to set a precedent. I get he wants to cut down the wages, but there's 3 players. Like I said, I'm gonna say it again. There's again with Cheeto corn stock. There's 3. I'll get him in the camera soon. There's 3 things. There's 3 players that you need to keep on board, and all these 3 are on the brink of leaving, and 2 of them are already out of a contract. So I don't know. He's got to do something. If we can end up keeping these players, fantastic market. That's all. I don't care about any more signings. I don't care about Ronaldo. Right. Keep these 3 players.
Right.
That's all I care about.
Right. But so we should look at, though, if they do leave, right? If they do go, the rumors. Okay, there's the rumors, and the rumors are, I'm not even going to start with CR7, but the room because that's a whole other conversation. But the rumors, Dybala, Neymar, which is ridiculous. But then I'll get to more. That's not listed on this graphic here. Keylor Navas. Keylor Navas is a rumor. He's a little bit older than Ospina. Probably he's going to be 36 in December, so he's 35 when the season starts. But he's proven,
great keeper.
Keylor, listen, I believe PSG sells him because they have Donnarumma. Linked to Napoli, possible. Maybe replacement. Also Sirigu coming in to back up Meret. You got two Italian national team, technically European champions, goalkeepers. The other rumors were Bernardeschi. I don't know if that rumor has died down quite a bit.
I think Bernard's going to Toronto.
Yeah, but bunch of really. Wow,
yes,
that's another one. Look at that. Yeah. But I mean, these are the latest rumors. Who's that? Ostergaard, right? The other center back that we were linked with. There's who else? I saw Deulofeu would be massive.
DePaul was another one.
DePaul was another one. Wallace was another one.
Yep.
And then there was one that was really, really recent, and it was it was another player from Serie A. Just no, it was Bologna. Svanberg. Listen, I mean, and then let's listen. We're not even talking about the fact that he might sell Fabian for God knows how much money. You know what I mean? Like what would have to happen for you to get over I mean, losing Mertens would be a disaster. He's the heart and soul of the club. Losing Koulibaly would be a disaster. Ospina, yes, terrible, but replaceable. He is
Yes.
replaceable. What would have to happen? Would it have to be one of these Dybala, Deulofeu? Would it have to be that? Would it have to be an Ostegard? Would it have to be a bigger center back coming in too? Possible Bremer? I don't know. He's going to go to Inter, but still, like what would have to happen, Carm, for us to be like, okay, the time has come on that, era of the team. So now let's move on.
Yeah. I know the nostalgia factor is going to answer this and say they're irreplaceable to me.
Replaceable.
Because you said it yourself, Mertens is the heart and soul of the team.
Mhm.
So just Mertens is to me kind of irreplaceable, but I wouldn't be mad at the fact that if we were to bring in like I can't even say Dybala because Dybala gets injured a lot.
Dybala gets injured a lot,
a
but
lot of the
but
games.
but in my opinion, I'm going to jump in. In my opinion, Dybala would be enough for me because a fully healthy Dybala is MVP of Serie A,
Yeah,
and his Argentinian roots and his ability to make the rest of the team better, I think would push Napoli to another level. I think Dybala would be the right answer. I'm not Neymar is here just because I wanted
Yeah.
to entertain. Someone said Neymar.
Yeah.
Someone said all three, which is crazy. But we'll get to it. I mean, for me, it would be Dybala, and it would probably be like Deulofeu. I
was
think
about to say
Deulofeu.
I
Deulofeu
think Deulofeu was probably the best answer for me.
killed it.
Proven player in Serie A, fantastic in the midfield and as a
Killed it.
secondary striker. I guess if there had to be a replacement, to me it would be Deulofeu. All things considered, no, I wouldn't even say Dybala. I don't really have much of an interest in Dybala because of the fact that he's injured a lot of the times and misses a lot of games. I want somebody who is durable and proven himself in Serie A, so Deulofeu is a good option. In terms of Koulibaly, unless you can
No,
find another
I mean, yeah.
unless you can find another one of the best center backs in the world, I don't think he's replaceable. I mean, we can manage around him. Ostegard is a great center back. He's not Koulibaly, but he's a good center back. Bremer would be the closest option, but Bremer is never going to happen because he's going to Inter. But yeah, if like in an ideal perfect world, if I'm playing FIFA right now, it'd be Deulofeu Bremer.
Yeah. So I like what Gaetano said here, though. Mertens is not replaceable in our hearts,
No.
and maybe in the locker room, and maybe in the city.
Yep.
But on the field, he might be replaceable, and that's not taking away what he's done. Even this season, he's given us some great memories this season too.
Yeah.
But on the pitch, you're right. You're 100% right. Yeah, Gaetano. He is replaceable on the pitch, and it can happen. But I also like another thing Gaetano said up here, and if I can find it, he said, I guess I can't find it. He said that ADL will well replace, and that's something that a lot of people, listen, say what you want about him, but him and Giuntoli have gotten it done. They can replace, and they can build again. And the problem with that though is that the other teams are getting much better, right?
Yes.
Look at what Milan brought in already. Look at what Inter brought in already. Look at the moves Juventus are looking to make. Di Maria is that confirmed? Di Maria to Juve?
No.
But if it happens, you got a Di Maria for free there. You've got Inter. Forget it. Lukaku's back. Onana is replacing. That's another reason why we should have kept Ospina, or if not, get Navas. You've got Mañana on Milan, Onana on Inter. You always look at Szczesny with Juve, and Napoli is, what are we doing? You know what I mean? We're gonna put our faith in Meta. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm sorry, but we have to keep up. Listen, after that whole blunder against Empoli, I've lost it. I have lost it for Meret. He
Yeah.
has to do so much more to get me back. He really does. And yes, he's had some good games. And yes, he's had some good saves. And yes, I'll never forget the Coppa Italia penalty kicks. Very,
Yeah.
very. But at the same time, Milik hit the fifth penalty to win it, and he's gone, and no one cares that he's gone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So he would have to really do something to really get my tug on my heartstrings again
Mhm.
to for me to be happy about him staying and not replacing him even, you know. But listen, um does this make up for all of it? Chi ere sette in azzurro, is this a real thing? Can this really happen? Because here's the thing. Last season, or maybe 2 seasons ago, we talked a lot about a possibility for Messi to come here. Now, obviously, it was a lot of tongue in cheek. It was a lot of smoke up our, people's asses
Yeah.
and this and that. But this could actually really happen when you look at the terms, when you look at everything that ADL is doing and the plans that we know he's got going on right now, the wage bill cut, trying to sell. Of course, we'd have to buy from Manchester United.
Yep.
The advantage of Dybala is that he's free. You know what I mean? But as he's so much younger than Ronaldo, that he demands probably a higher wage. But do you see a possibility where Ronaldo comes in, keeps his image rights, obviously, probably gets a pretty nice cut on merchandising,
Mhm.
maybe to have that combined with a lower than he wants wage, just to be able to play in the Champions League with a team that might have a chance to do something? And is he capitalizing on the fact that Messi could have come in here last year and rewritten history all over again, taking a team like Napoli to the promised land, like Maradona, the Argentine, did before him? And is he maybe thinking, you know what? I've gone to super team, and I've gone to super team. Maybe I go to Napoli and show everybody what it's all about. What is going on, Carm? Because this is actually plausible. It's not us just dreaming. I don't think it's gonna happen, but the fact that it can happen
Yeah.
is a little, I don't know.
In theory,
I don't know how to think.
sounds like it could. In theory, it sounds like it could. But there's a bunch of things that is going through my head with Ronaldo's arrival. First and foremost, is we're gonna have to give him a lot of subsidies in order to for him to even come to the negotiation table, because we're not paying that salary. There's no way in hell ADL is catching $10 million a year for him, or euros a year for him. If we can't pay Koulibaly 6, well, we're definitely not giving Cristiano 10. So we're gonna have to let him get a lot of cuts and a lot of things that run in the club. On top of that, um, I'm just not a. I know his pull internationally is gonna make up for a lot of the difference with jersey sales and all that sort of things. But if a lot of the cut is going to him, how much are we getting it out of it at the end of the day too? Um, Also, the fact that I just look at Cristiano's time with Juventus
Mm,
and how much damage that did to
mhm.
Juventus
Yes,
financially.
yes,
It
yes,
just
yes.
it's just I know we want to win. It's gonna be Maradona in the 80s all over again. We're gonna break the bank, and then who knows what happens after financially, because we're not as strong as Juventus or as the other super clubs. So if it really doesn't work out, where does that leave us financially? I don't
Right.
want to be distraught after the fact and really have to scrape our way back from where we were 15 years ago or whatever it was.
Okay, but let me ask you this, because now I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Because to be honest with you, I'm also not very high on the possibility of him coming in for various different
Yeah.
reasons. I mean, there's advantages and there's disadvantages, obviously. You can look at the advantages of the jersey sales. You can look at the
Yep.
advantages of, the international recognition, the media, the attention, but but and the jersey sales too, let's not forget, no middleman. We
Yeah.
produce and manufacture and ship, and we do all that. Armani is
Yeah.
just a sponsor who helps with design, and we do all the other work. So it's not like we're sharing these profits with Puma, Nike, Adidas, blah, blah, blah. That's the advantages of Armani, guys. People who were clamoring for all these big name sports brand, like a Ronaldo jersey sales under a manufacturer that's owned by us would be massive for us.
Yeah.
Maybe it gives us a little leeway into being able to strike a deal with Ronaldo on share of his jersey sales. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
However, what if it doesn't work out? Like, what if we don't win anything? What if he comes in and cramps our style? He is, to me, a selfish player. In
Yes.
my opinion, he's a selfish
Yes.
player. He is, to me, a distraction, if you will. Now, obviously, all that stuff goes away if he brings us a Scudetto, but that's another thing.
If
Him at Juventus, in my opinion, and I'll never change this opinion, CR7 in Juventus was a failure on the
Yep.
simple fact that they did not even get to the Champions League final. Never
Yep.
mind win the Champions League. They didn't even get to the final. Okay. That's a fail to me. But we all know why Ronaldo went to Juventus was for that reason. He was never brought in to win Scudetto 8 and 9. He was brought in to win the Champions League. That's what he was brought in to do. In Napoli, a Scudetto is enough, man. One Scudetto he brings us, cancels all the talk about ADL, cancels all the talk about being taught. I think I cut out for just a moment. I'm back here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, it cancels all that out. So what would it be like? And a lot of people here are saying too, and I'm seeing you on the chat. It's not going to happen. Why are we even talking about it? Blah blah. It's a discussion because it's a possibility. It's not a possibility. It's not like it's not a realistic possibility. It could happen. It really could. Nobody's in delusion if they say, "Oh, maybe it could happen." So I don't know how you feel about all that.
But the problem is, okay, so we talked about the financial side of things. Now let's talk about on the field. It ruins everything that happens on the field because we have to adapt a play style that fits Ronaldo. Not a play style that fits everyone else. It has to fit Ronaldo now. So all the players that we've brought in and the mentality or the team identity that Spalletti has been trying to instill in this team for the past year has to be redone because Ronaldo has to come in and Ronaldo has to play as the striker position in a two-man striker with Osimhen. So now we got to change the whole formation. We got to change the mentality. We have to change the style, and everything's going to get backtracked again. We're going to start back from square one, and then we have to deal with all that after the fact.
So basically, Sarri with Juventus.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So, and here's the thing, right? It's just,
but if it's good enough to bring a
Ronaldo,
Scudetto, who cares, right, Carm? Because what we're talking about here, right? Again, I'm playing devil's advocate because I don't want him there. I'm with you with all the financials and all that stuff, and I'm the first one to say I wouldn't break the bank for just one Scudetto and ruin our future. But that's what everyone else wants, Carm. Everybody else. When you go on a rant on Twitter talking about how this team isn't good enough for Serie B or this and that, what are we talking about? We're talking about we want a Scudetto. There were people who were absolutely disgusted with this team, and we finished third after finishing fifth and seventh. We finished third after spending all season fighting for Scudetto. We finished third after being in a Scudetto race until 1 month before the season was done, and people are disgusted with that. They can't deal with it. They want ADL out, sell ADL, vendi vatten, a hashtag A16, whatever the hashtags are. This is what I'm hearing. So if this guy comes in and does spoil the gameplay or what have you, but gets us that one effing Scudetto, man, the one that we've all been waiting for. Does it matter? Does it all matter? Like, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
People are always gonna find something to harp on. There's always gonna be something wrong. Is it gonna be worth it? I think in the short term, yes, it is gonna be worth it. They're all gonna be satisfied. I mean, hell, if he brings us to the Scudetto, I'll be the first one to paint a mural on the wall of him. I'll be honest with you. It's just because it's something that I've been dreaming of for the past 12 to 15 years, is to see Napoli win a championship. But having said that, again, looking at Ronaldo's time at Juventus, seeing what he did there, both financially and on the field, it was a failure. Am I ready to have this failure that can really damage this team? I'm not. I think the team is good as it is right now to go out and win a Scudetto. I don't think we need Ronaldo.
Okay, so
Personally, I don't we need Ronaldo.
so because a lot of people don't agree with this season.
Nope.
You had Salad. It was in here earlier today, and I don't know if he's still with us, but he was so high on Napoli winning the Scudetto last year. So was Biz, and it almost happened. But this year, going in so far this year, if we lose those players that we talked about, I think it has a lot to do with them staying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we're not really regarded as a Scudetto contender according to a lot of people, and here's another thing, but I'm not sure if this is where he's getting at, Vinny. But Vinny says with Osimhen and Lozano, we don't need him to press and track back, meaning we won't need Ronaldo to press and track back.
Yeah.
Also, it helps the double teaming. Like, you're gonna double team Osimhen like he's always been double teamed in the corner on his own, but then you have a free and open Ronaldo, man. Like
yeah.
What? I mean, I don't know. It is
tough.
It's very tough
to call, but like I said, personally, we have a young squad with a lot of talented players. I don't think it's necessary that he has to be there. I don't think to win a Scudetto, I think we can do it within a few seasons. Maybe not next season, but a few seasons. If we can just find the reinforcements, maybe even if we keep if we keep Ospina, even just keeping Ospina and Koulibaly, even if we let Mertens go, I know it's going to be damage to the locker room, but finding the suitable replacement, like, I don't know, Deulofeu, who can come out and sub on with Elmas playing at the 10 underneath Osimhen, I think that's good enough. I honestly think that's good enough to go out there and actually have a fighting.
Well, so what Peter says here is that our coach said top 4 would be tough, but I mean, I feel like that's a response that he's got to make.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I get it. I get wanting to have the confident coach saying, "Nah, we're gonna go for the Scudetto. It's ours." You can't really make that prediction until the Mercato's over and until you've seen the team in preseason. Like you can't really make that prediction yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to understand that other teams have strengthened, other teams have weakened here, strengthened there, and we have to see what it is. Right now, for him to say that, I'm gonna defend him on saying that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's a very tough situation that we're in right now. Nothing is done. It all just started. So don't forget, the season starts so early. The calendar came out August 13th, right? Or 15th is our
13th,
first game. And we normally don't start till end of August, early September. And the Mercato is still going when we start the season. So there's still a lot of time to fix what we need to fix here.
Yep.
And to make the right moves to win the Scudetto, to do good in Europe.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Raffa, the Mercato just started July 1st.
Literally
3 days ago. It started.
See, and that's the thing. That's what annoys me. That's why I like to try my best. I mean, every now and then I get sucked into the vortex, but I like to try my best and not overreact at the mercato before even July 1st, because nothing is done before July 1st. Yes, agreements are made, maybe things are signed, but nothing is deposited until July 1st. July 1st is when it all goes down. Now is when we have to, now is when I take certain rumors seriously. Like if this rumor came before last week, I'd be like, ha, you're out of your effing mind. There's no way. But now that it's July 4th and this has a little bit of, steam and has a little bit of traction to it, there's a possibility. And you know what? If it happens, it happens. I'm not a huge fan of his. Everybody knows that. But hey, man, again, if he could bring in a Scudetto, as long as it doesn't, and you see, here's the thing, and we'll end it. We'll end it with this. For me, Carm, yes, it put Juventus in sort of a struggling situation. But they're Juventus, they'll bounce back. They have the money to bounce back, right? They're suffering now for a little bit. They're going to smile later. Eventually, this team's going to win another effing Scudetto. They're going to.
Yes.
They're going to. They're going to maybe get to the final of Champions League. They will. But ADL, in my opinion, knows how to run the club. So I don't think he would make the move unless he knew that the future of Napoli is protected. That's another thing we're overlooking, and I'm overlooking. I just realized it now. ADL never makes and I don't care who says what about it, and you can all disagree with me. ADL never makes a move that doesn't benefit the future of this club. Not talking about championships and trophies. I'm talking about the sustainability, business-wise future of this club. This club will never go bankrupt under ADL, in my opinion. He wouldn't pull the trigger unless he knew he was able to do it.
That's because if the club goes bankrupt, he goes bankrupt. That's what it is.
That's it.
If the club goes down, he goes down with it, and his family goes down with it. His wife, his sons, everyone. He's gonna keep it sustainable. That's 100% for sure. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. It's just that he's not gonna make a move that he doesn't foresee going. He's not gonna make a move that he foresees being a failure. Essentially, he's not gonna do it. And personally, I think that's bringing in Ronaldo may end up in that result. If I can see it, I think he can see it too. So
well, and that's it. If he doesn't bring him in, there's a reason. If he brings him in, then we can do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like if he brings it in, there's no question it's going to get international. Like the site's going to crash. You know what I mean? Hey,
by the way, new site.
The new site.
Fantastic.
The new site. Hey, maybe he brought in Coca-Cola. We all know that Ronaldo is famous for throwing away the Coca-Cola and picking up the Dasani. Yeah. But the Dasani is owned by Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Then he fixes the website. Now, maybe he can have more people on the site. Like, a fix is a revamp. A revamp is an upgrade. I'm sure he's upgraded the site to be able to. You have to think about all these little things. These little things he's doing, man. Konami. Okay, Konami came in, right? You never know. Maybe CR7 going to United was his way of, like Sadi left Napoli for Chelsea only to go to Juventus the next year. Maybe he didn't want to go right from Juventus to Napoli. Maybe this deal has been in the works for. We don't know. We don't know. But as pessimistic as I was about him possibly coming in, thinking it was reality, I start to think about these things, and it's like it hits you. It's like, well, wait a minute. There's a revamp to the site. We sell jerseys only on our site. We have Amazon. We have Armani. This guy's gonna model in Armani. We have Coca-Cola. We have these big sponsorships that will sustain. I don't know, man. Like, the more I talk about it, even as I sit here, the more I think this could work. It could work. I don't know. It could work.
It could.
I mean, there's a lot of
theory-
controversy. There's a lot. Yeah, I
The
mean,
theory behind it's there. I'm not saying the theory behind it isn't there. There's a lot of things that can point in that direction, saying, yeah, it could work. It's just I've always this is my personal bias. I don't like Ronaldo as a player right now.
I don't like him as a person. I don't really like him much as a person.
Yeah,
I feel bad. I feel bad for his family situation, what they went through. Losing a baby is never easy, and he's a human being as well. But the way he treated that fan at Everton, and hit his phone down. I don't know if you remember this, but like the way he took his captain armband off for Portugal when something didn't go his way, the way he puts his arms up like this when something doesn't go his way on the pitch, but we get a goal and result, it's still, like things like that just bother
and
me.
if you've seen the All for One documentary, All for One.
No, the Juventus Prime. Yeah. Was it the Prime one?
Yeah, it's a
Or was
Prime
it
one.
the Netflix one.
The Prime one.
The
I
Prime
think
one.
I can't remember. It's Prime or Netflix.
I know what you're talking about. All or nothing.
The way he acts, All for Nothing. That's what it was.
All for Nothing.
The way he acts in the dressing room too is just like it's like whining all the time, and that just brings everything down to All for One. Yeah, my bad. I'm so stuck on TFC.
All for One. Was it All for One?
It's all. Oh my god, I don't know what the Prime.
All for One is the Toronto thing.
The Toronto C1. The
all,
Prime one
all
is
or nothing.
All or Nothing. There we go.
But you called it All for Nothing, I think applies. They went out all for nothing.
Yeah, it
they
was
really
a
did.
Flip at that point.
It applies, Carm. It applies.
Yeah, it does. It does. But as I was saying, like it's kind of toxic to have in the change room.
Yeah,
somebody who's like that. And I know Ronaldo expects a certain level from players, but I don't know. To me, like on the field and in the dressing room, it doesn't work out, even though everything else works out financially or in that theory sense.
No, it's a good observation. It's a good observation. I mean, he's still Ronaldo. He still was the leading goal scorer in. I think it was in the Premier League, but definitely on United. I don't know if he led the Premier League with goals. Somebody can, I don't know, but whatever. The point is that he's still a presence. He's still an intimidating factor. We have a good enough squad to, kind of distract the other opposing teams with Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Like the teams will kind of forget about, oh shit, here's Osimhen, here's Fabian if we keep him, here's Zielinski, here's Koulibaly, here's these guys here that are doing things, Lozano, Kvaratskhelia, to like kind of forget about Osimhen because they're on Ronaldo, and Osimhen can bang goals in left and right. You know what I mean? And maybe it relieves a little pressure from Osimhen and but pressure. And I know I said we'll end on this like 10 minutes ago, but maybe we'll end on this. Should Ronaldo come to Napoli, the pressure's on, in my opinion. And how do Neapolitans and this team and ADL and Spalletti, how do they deal? They've already got enough pressure from everybody that wants another Scudetto, that finally wants that glory, that tricolore on their shirt. But what kind of pressure would be on Napoli to deliver even just a Scudetto, if not more? Because CR7 would love to win another Champions League trophy with a club, with another club. So it adds a lot of pressure to that too. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. It's going to unfold, and we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of pressure.
It's gonna be a lot of pressure, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. And this was the first episode of the season. Carm, listen, we're gonna wind it down. So let's get a Forza Napoli in the chat. Thank you guys. I see all these. I'm sorry I wasn't very active with hitting the buttons. Gaetano just said that I say Corrado. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. we got to figure that out. Cheeto Cornstalk has to get a cameo. Okay, so say hey to Cheeto Corn. There he is in the flesh. Cheeto. Ciao, Cheeto. yeah, so we are at the end of it. Forza Napoli sempre. Thank you,
Forza
Pasquale.
Napoli.
Thank you, Vinny. Thank you for everybody checking in here today and joining us for the first episode of the season. Kvaratskhelia. There you go.
Kvaratskhelia.
Yes, sir.
Facile
We
not
got it.
that
We got
say.
it. We got it. Yeah, so Carm, I look forward to seeing you again in the chat
Yes.
and in on with us throughout the season. Raf Biz will be back when he comes back from Italy. We're gonna have a nice little special on his trip and see where we're at then with Napoli. And we'll be here and we're gonna go through some changes and we're gonna go through some new exciting things. Nothing I'm gonna talk about in depth right now, but we're all kind of working on some really cool things. And Carm, the club you said is growing, so that's good. Why don't you tell people who are listening or watching for the first time, if they are, how we can get in touch with you and how you can follow what's Napoli Toronto is doing.
Yep. Well, first and foremost, I just want to say thanks again for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be on here. It's like it's my second home, basically, to come on and talk Napoli with you guys.
Yes.
And I'm glad that I can finally share and vocalize my experience of the senior arrival with everyone else, because up until this point, it's been in my I've been going over it in my brain, just talking to myself about it. But finally getting it out and telling you guys all about it is just it's relieving. It's very relieving to share my experience. But yeah, for Napoli Club Toronto, you can find us on Facebook under Napoli Club Toronto. On Twitter, I believe the handle is at Napoli Club TO. So at Napoli Club TO on Twitter, and then on Instagram, it's just our name, Napoli Club Toronto. Again, we have a website, napoliclubtoronto.com, that you can find all of our information. We're actually revamping the website too, funny enough.
Good.
We're gonna have a lot more information posted on there, season schedule, all that sort of stuff for future meets. And so memberships are gonna be put on sale soon. I believe they're gonna be on sale by the end of the month, if not early August. So yeah, just follow us on our social media to follow along with the club memberships and how to join and how to find us here in Toronto, and a lot of other things that we're going to be doing throughout the year now that Insigne is here. We're going to be working a lot more with Toronto C and MLSC with group outings and maybe some other private events um, with the club. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, we just appreciate like always your support.
Yes, and everybody continue to support Napoli Club Toronto.
And Napoli Tri-State, by the way.
And yes, Tri-State Napoli, we're gonna have some really cool stuff coming out too. Gaetano and Peter are working on that diligently now. And check back with us here for more information on that. Want to again thank you, grazie tante, to everybody in the chat live. I want to thank everybody who might not be watching live that might be catching us on YouTube later. And thank you for everybody who's listening on the Far From Vesuvius network, which is undergoing some changes. And we're going to do some real big things with that very soon too. Trust me, for this season. Again, thank you all and ciao. Forza Napoli.
Napoli.
Sempre.